Right, losing track of what I've done and what I've covered and what to bore you with, but the walls are now sealed. I put the last coat on the other day. It's a bit too cold really to be applying it properly. You'll see it's kind of gone a blue colour. That eventually goes clear. It should happen a lot quicker when it's summer, but it's left a really nice sheen on the brick. So I've got some decent confidence that it is actually going to do a decent job at arresting the dust. So I've made a decision on the floor. I'm going to put PVC tiles down again, different tiles to what I've got there. Even though it would have been cost effective to just carry this pattern going, I just don't like this checker plate. I mean, it's particularly dirty at the moment due to the work we've had done. But when you're mopping up on the checker plate, it just catches the dirt really, really easily. So I'm going to go for a semi-smooth sort of textured finish across the whole floor. So my job for tonight is to get some tyre racks up. They are the cheapest, flimsiest things you've ever seen. So I won't be sitting under these anytime soon, but I'm just going to have 2 racks, one above the other. I wanted to do 2 side by side on this bit of breeze block, but I was just running out of healthy brick that I could drill into and get good contact with some plugs and stuff. So there'll be one above the other, which is still fine, just gets them off the floor and out of the way. So yeah, that's my job for tonight. Quick update, tyre racks are up, pretty happy with that. They've not fallen down yet, so that's a bit of a result. Started to get all my sockets back in place and the light switches and stuff. Made some changes, got some, focus. Got a new socket put up there, which is going to be above. I'm going to have a reshuffle, talk about that later. A few other bits and pieces. I've started pulling this floor up here as well, just in preparation for the new floor coming. So a little gadget that I'm playing with tonight is something I've meant to put in for ages, and it's effectively a smart relay. So these are about 25 quid on Amazon, brand there. And what this has, what the garage door opener has got, it's got these little kind of connector blocks up there, and they're to wire in like a physical button, to open your garage door or whatever. So all it's doing is it's connecting into that, connects to the Wi-Fi. This is a sensor, so it knows whether the door's open or closed. And then you can open and close your door with the smartphone, or I've got all of the Home Assistant integration stuff, so I can. It's useless, really. It's just you get addicted to joining things to your home network, I guess. Well, welcome back in the garage. Exciting day for me today because I'm going to start putting some floor down, and I'm hoping today to get enough floor down to allow me to start moving cabinets back in here. So yeah, pretty excited to get today done. So I'm just vacuuming up around the garage door because the entrance threshold is my main reference point. That's the bit I need to get lined up for these little ramps here. So I'll line up 2 or 3 rows of tiles for the doorway, make sure they sit up flush against the garage door seal, and then I can start coming all the way down here, all the way along this wall, all the way along the back, all the way along that wall, and then obviously I'll have some edge bits that will need trimming with the grinder or a jigsaw. I'm not sure what I'll use yet to fill the end. So yeah, quite a big day ahead, but yeah, that's the plan. Just want to show you quickly the old tiles versus the new and explain why I didn't just carry the old tiles all the way through. So there's a couple of reasons. First off, this is quite an old design now. They're all from Duramat, same brand. But this particular model is like a 12mm thick one. It started vanishing from their website. You can still get bits, but yeah, I just wasn't confident that it was a particularly future-proofed product lineup. Secondly, I went checker plate originally, which sucks. Don't go checker plate because it just catches dirt, and if you're going to mop the floor, you need to mop it in 4 directions, right, to get all the dirt out. It's an absolute pain. And the final part is they're pretty robust, right? They're pretty. You can drag a jack across them, but I do find over time, particularly jacking up a heavy car like the Volvo, occasionally I was having the jack, break through the surface on a couple of the tiles, and that's because they're effectively hollow. They've got like a honeycomb underneath, and they're, as I said, they're 12mm thick. Nowadays, this is what Durotile are selling. So this is actually a newish one. This is a 9mm thick, super sturdy one. And they're rated for like forklift trucks, 4-poster ramps, all sorts. They're very, very robust. They're very heavy. And they're basically solid underneath. You see they've got a pattern, but yeah, they're effectively solid. They're just a textured surface, so should hopefully be easy to clean. And a bonus I didn't expect until they got here is they are direction... they don't care which direction that they're in. Whereas they've got 2 female sides and 2 male sides, which every now and then was very annoying, particularly when it comes to offcuts. I'm going to have to cut a load of tiles to go down here and then cut a load along the bottom end and probably a load more elsewhere. With the old design, you could get quite unlucky and you can end up with a lot of wastage because you might chop half a tile off there and be unable to use that tile somewhere else because it's the wrong orientation. So I'm anticipating a lot less waste with these, which is pretty cool. But yeah, they're very heavy. The fit is very, very tight. You can see where you can see the gaps is because I just need to go back around with the rubber mallet and get them all flush. Once they're flush, the gaps are practically invisible. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with them so far. But they're heavy, if I didn't mention that. Right, sit rep. You've maybe seen some time lapse, depending on how that came out. But we've now pretty much got 2/3 of the garage done, so the empty portion of the garage is almost done. I have trimmed a load of tiles down here to get flush with this wall. I mean, it's not quite flush, you've got to leave an expansion gap, which I have. And I've only put enough down for the areas where I want to relocate some furniture, because my next goal is to start getting some of that furniture into its final resting place. So I've only gone up to the walls where I need to do. For this wall here, we got pretty close to the wall without doing any trimming. TBD on whether I'm going to leave that like that or not, because I can always cover it with some chunky skirting like scaffolds or something, because it seems like a massive waste to trim a load of tiles for that. But we'll see what wastage we've got left. Need to cut around that beam. So I'm going to have some cabinets going here, so that's all done. Sink unit in there, and then of course my big Sealy cabs along there. So that's where we're at. I've used a little over half of the tiles now, and as you can see, I've easily done 2/3 of the space, probably close to 3/4 really. So we're looking pretty good. Still loads of tiles left. I did some ChatGPT, Gemini estimations of how many tiles I would need for this space, and it reckoned with the pack of 400, that was a discount pack of 400, it reckoned I would have about 48 spare for trimming. I've used about 21, I've trimmed about 21 so far, and I've done a rough estimation of what else I'll need to potentially trim if I get unlucky with the spacing around here, and I think I'll just about do it. But I've still got all of these offcuts as well, so they can hopefully be used somewhere. Hopefully they will not be going in the recycling. So yeah, pretty happy with that. I'm going to knock it on the head now. I need to find a home for my plywood. I really don't want to get rid of it because it's been handy a couple of times already since I've not needed it for ramps, but it's big old heavy thick stuff and I don't really know where to store it. So yeah, pretty happy with today. really satisfying process. I'm knackered though. So tomorrow, if I can try and get some help, maybe look at getting some cabs back in their final positions. Right, sit rep. I have started making a mess of the nice clean space I had by trying to get some of my bits back over here. Obviously I'm quite limited on what I can carry on my own. I've got some help on its way. So I've been doing what I can. I kind of experimented with some dollies and using my old mats as a kind of creep mat, which was working, but it was all a bit sketchy. So I've been really moving everything out of the cabinets over here so I can I'm going to just sit. That can be a night job on my own. Sit, clean all that, organise it all. Same with the other cab from way back over there. And that means that the cabinets are all nice and, well, as mobile as they will get. So that when my help arrives, we can start shuffling that thing all the way in that corner. That is going to be relocated here into this corner with the 3D printer. I want to get some of the machinery in this corner at a later date. And then in that corner will be just racking for all of my kind of track day essentials and stuff, because previously I had them all lined up against this wall, which was messy, and also I was traipsing it across there just to get it in and out of the Volvo for every track day or race weekend or whatever, so at least I can have it all nice near the door. Obviously all the cabs will go back here. And then what we can start doing is get that that third of the garage emptied and get all the flooring down in that section. I'm also finally going to address the electrics in here. So ever since the mezzanine ceiling went in, I've just had all of the old electrics temporarily strung around. So I'm going to get that done properly. So, productive day, although it felt a lot slower going today than yesterday. Obviously, big satisfying jobs yesterday, putting the floor down. But yeah, we've got the cabs in place. Thank you very much to Jamie and of course little Seb coming along to give me a hand. So we've got this big dug unit, it's going to go here. Obviously the wall cabinets for it I'll bring over as well. And I've got the big sealer unit, still need a few finishing touches there, just to get it all screwed together properly, but all of the two-man lift stuff is done and it is looking fantastic. Got all my drawers out, so I'm going to give everything a sort and a clean before it goes back in. I'm going to do a bit of that tonight, to chill out for a little bit. So yeah, happy days. Good evening, quick update, because we've been tidying, or just moving mess around really. No, that's not true. We have been tidying, slowly but surely, things are getting organised. As you can see, the far end is pretty much clear of stuff now, and as at the time of filming this, I'm sat firmly on the fence as to whether to embark on painting it or not, because it's breeze blocks, and I know painting breeze blocks can be really tedious. Now I have sealed them, you might have seen, with the pump sprayer, so maybe that'll give me a head start. Not sure. So the plan is, while I deliberate, I need to get a move on getting cars in here, because hopefully the catering's back in the UK tomorrow. This is filming this on, what day is it? 28th of January, and we're racing on like the 7th and 8th of December. So yeah, that's how long it's taken to get the cars back from Barbados. But yeah, they're hopefully back in the UK tomorrow. So I really need to get the Lotus in here so I can get the trailer down to Bristol to get the car. So yeah, so the plan is all these cabs that should be in the breeze block area, they're going to stay there for now. this wiring will be my next job. I need to go down south for work tomorrow, so I'm on pause for a little bit. When I get back, I'm going to reroute that wiring and get that tidied up. And then that will allow me to get the Lotus in here, navigate past that stuff, and get it right back to the back wall. And then, even when the catering's back, to be fair, I can make a decision later about whether I paint this or not. I think once the catering's back, I'll feel de-stressed a little bit, and I think I'll be happy to spend a few days painting some walls. But right now, I'm just trying to get it car ready. So yeah. Welcome back. So last night's update was all about the wiring, which I thought I'd broken the lights then. So the lights have not been done yet, which is why there's still some wires dangling down, but the sockets are kind of done. So just big caveat, I'm not an electrician. If there are any electricians watching, I'm sorry in advance. Particularly to my very trusted electrician Andy, who put all of these sockets in for me. I probably should have waited for him to do this stuff, but I've got some time on my hands now and I thought I would give it a go. So I'm sorry if I did a bad job, but hopefully it's safe. So what I've done is I've gone through the beams. The plan is, so I've run the wiring run for the lights. I've just not, because it was dark last night when I was doing this, I didn't want to isolate the lighting. So that's a job for later today. So the plan is I'm going to add some downlights in, because that single batten, it struggles a little bit. I don't know if it comes across on camera, but it's always dark over here. So add some more lights, and then I'll be moving the light switch. The light switch used to be near that personnel door, but that never gets used. In fact, I have a cabinet in the alcove. So for me to come in and sort of traipse over there to turn the light on, it's a bit of a pain. So this is where the light switch will be relocated to, where I've got that loop hanging down. And then, as I say, downlights in what will eventually be a ceiling in here. And then what I've also done is I've rerun new wiring for the sockets. So there was a socket here before, but there will be another one here. I've not added it on yet, purely because I'm going to paint these walls, I think. So I can just put that out of the way, and I'll just add that socket later. I had to add that socket because it's like the end of the line, whatever the terminology is. So that's sockets in, and that works. It didn't kill me. It works. We've got electricity, and I also tidied up the socket up there for the door opener, which again will be above the ceiling level. And I think I'll just add a little inspection hatch in the ceiling so I can get to that if I need to do in future. So yeah, the job for today will be to isolate the lighting, get this door open so I've got some natural light, isolate the lighting, get that batten rewired into my new wiring, get the switch moved over there, and then rip all the mess out. And then hopefully this area will be good for paint, and then subsequently putting a ceiling up. Lighting's just about done. So a quick walk through of that. Got the light switch now relocated here, a bit of trunking. Got these downlights kind of just bobbing around. I'm not 100% happy with the final positions of these downlights, but I've left loads of slack cable to adjust. But there just seems to be a beam everywhere that I want to put a light. But yeah, I've kept the batten wide in as well. So if I turn these on, got a much nicer distribution of lighting. Still a little bit of a dark patch underneath where the garage door opener is, but it's livable. And of course, by not having any lights over there also means you're not losing any light when you've got the door open. So I think I'm okay with this. And this isn't a primary work area anyway, it's more just for parking, but much happier with that. Yeah. And I'm not dead from doing my own electrics, so that's always nice. Whew. Welcome back in. Had a bit of a tidy spurt this morning, nice Sunday morning, bit of therapy. We're about ready to bring a car in, so give you a little bit of a 360 view. So still very much not in its final configuration, but final enough for me to get the 211 in here and not be obstructed by it with the stuff I've got to do. I don't have to make any more mess at this end of the room now, I don't think. It's just going to be rearranging things into their final resting places, find somewhere for this plywood and stuff like that. So all of the messy stuff is still down there to get the painting done when that paint arrives. So yeah, I think I will go venture into the trailer and see if the 211 starts, which I'm not feeling confident on because the battery felt weak at Silverstone when I last was out in it, and that was November, and it's now 1st of February. It's been sat in a cold trailer since.